Hello and welcome to Sheep Herder Quest Guide for 2007 RuneScape with commentary. So items needed is 100 GP and the optional 1 to 2 energy restore potions if your agility level is low. The rewards are 3,100 coins and 4 quest points. So we're going to be starting at the church in East Ardy, which is there shown on screen, the little blue star. And we'll also be working in around the area that's shown circled. That's kind of like south of the fishing guild. So let's get started. So we're at the church, outside the church, and we have to talk to Councillor Halgrive to start the quest. So let's talk to him. Hello, how are you? I've been better, he says. What's wrong, you ask him. And he's going to say that things aren't very good. There's a farm that the sheep have been infected with the plague. Nobody wants to catch the plague. All the sheep say, you can do it, or I can do it. He says, excellent news, you need to go to the enclosure, blah blah blah. Oh, Dr. Aubon has some clothes, protective gear for you. He gives you some sheep feed to kill the sheep. So Dr. Aubon is in the church, so go and find him inside that church. He has protective clothing. He's only got one pair. He can sell it to you for 100 GP. Say, okay, I'll take it. He gives it to you after you pay for it. So put the protective clothing on and head out north of the church and go towards the fishing guild. But there's a bank on the way, so I'm just going to go and bank. And I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we're here, you can see the red sheep there, but we're going to go and get the cattle prod, and it's in the enclosure just, what's that, west of the entrance of Ardy, East Ardy. So we're going to go there. There's a red dot on the minimap you can see, and that's where the cattle prod is, inside the farmhouse, whatever it is. So equip the cattle prod, and then exit the enclosure. Now we're going to go and get one of the sheep to poison and then use the bones, their bones that they drop. Okay, so we're near the potato farm area, and we're just getting the first green sheep. I don't know, you can do it any way you want, you can do any order that you want, but I did this order. I found that every time you prod the sheep, it's probably best you prod it every few steps and not prod it and then wait for it to go ahead and then run after it. I don't know if that works for you, but this is the way that I did it. Don't go through the fence, that was a mistake, sorry. So what you need is just to prod the sheep in through the fence of the enclosure, and then use the poison sheep feed on the sheep, the sick looking sheep. It's going to eat it and then it's going to die. Drop its bones, so use the bones, pick up the bones, and then use the bones on the furnace that's inside the building in the enclosure. Just there, and we've killed the first sheep and incinerated its bones. So that's the first sheep done. Let's go and do the next sheep. So 1 down, 3 to go. So this is probably the most hardest of the sheep to do, the blue ones, which is a little bit south of the moss giants. So these blue ones, there's lots of obstacles in the way. So it's a little bit harder. Just go the way that I go and you shouldn't have any problems. Just make sure you have run on and make sure you're prodding the sheep every few seconds. So stand behind the sheep and prod it in the direction that you want it to go. Like this, like so. The first time that I did this quest, I had quite a lot of trouble with it. It was kind of annoying because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that you had to keep prodding the sheep and pestering it to get to where you want it to go. So we've got it close to the enclosure. Try and get it as close as you can to the gate and just do it quickly. Prod it as quick as you can. Use the sheep feed on the sheep and then collect the bones once it's in the enclosure, of course. Then use the bones on the furnace. We've done 2 sheep now. Let's go and get the 3rd sheep. So we're going to go to the fishing guild. So just outside the fishing guild gates, we're going to get the green sheep. So we'll just do exactly the same thing that we did for the other two and prod it towards the enclosure. So remember, always run on and just keep prodding the sheep every few seconds. Make sure it doesn't run away, if that's possible. Okay, so that sheep is in the enclosure. Use the sheep feed on the sheep. Collect the bones that it drops after it dies, and then use the bones in the furnace. And that's the third sheep. Let's go and find the last sheep, which is close to the bank of East Ardy. We walked past it before. It's the red ones. These ones are difficult as well, because of the obstacles like the rocks and the fence. Sometimes if you prod it the wrong way, it gets stuck. Like that sheep that's standing in the corner. Got lucky that that sheep didn't go any step further, otherwise it would have just got stuck, and then I'd have to, I don't know. If any of the sheep get stuck, then what you could do is just hop worlds. If the sheep is not coming out from the place that it got stuck. And when I mean stuck, I mean if it gets stuck behind a rock or a tree or a fence, which is kind of annoying if it takes a while. Okay, so we've got the last sheep in the enclosure. We're going to use the poison sheep feed on it, collect the bones after it dies, and use the bones on the furnace. So we've done all the sheep, and we need to go back to Councillor Halgrive, who's at the church, East Ardy Church. He might not be at the church, he's just wandering around that area, the church area. He could be inside the church, he could be outside the church area. Okay, so there he is. Yes, we managed to get rid of the sheep. So he reimburses our 100 GPs and gives us 3,000 GPs, gold coins, as a reward, and also 4 quest points. 4 quest points, was it? I think so. Okay, thanks for watching. Hopefully it doesn't really take that long for you to complete the quest, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.